Okay, so when we talk about the absolute legends of football, the gods of the game, there's one name that really, truly changed everything. We're talking about Alfredo Di Stéfano. This guy wasn't just a great player, he was a revolution on 2 feet, kind of like the prototype for every modern superstar you see today.
Now that's a pretty bold claim, right? I mean, we all talk about the greats like Pele, Maradona, Messi, and Ronaldo, but Di Stefano's name, it just carries this different kind of weight. So what does it even mean to be a complete footballer back then? And why should we even care about it today? Well, let's get into it.
All right, let's talk about his genius. You hear that phrase complete footballer thrown around all the time now, right? But back in the 1950s, man, Di Stéfano was the definition. Think about it. This was an era of super rigid positions, and this guy just completely shattered the mold of what a forward was even supposed to be.
And this right here, this is the absolute heart of his legend. Just forget everything you think about a striker who just, hangs out up front waiting for the ball. Di Stéfano was the team's heartbeat, its engine, and its brain, all rolled into one. I mean, he'd be starting an attack from deep in his own half, then suddenly he's surging forward to score a goal, and before you know it, he's sprinting back to make a game-saving tackle. The guy was literally everywhere. He was the orchestra conductor for the entire match.
So a player this dynamic, this revolutionary, he's got to have a nickname to match, right? And his, well, it wasn't just iconic. It was perfect. It captured the absolute essence of how he played.
La Saeta Rubia. In Spanish, that means the Blond Arrow. How cool is that? It's just perfect. It makes you think of his explosive speed, those direct runs straight at the goal, and of course, his look. On the pitch, he was just this flash of blonde hair, moving with incredible purpose and, deadly accuracy. And that's exactly why the name stuck, why it was so fitting. His versatility, it was like he had an internal compass. He could just navigate the entire field. His tactical brain was on another level, like a chess grandmaster seeing 3 moves ahead of everyone else. And his stamina, just relentless. The guy's work rate was completely off the charts. He really was an arrow, always aimed at the opponent's goal, no matter where he was on the pitch. Okay, so you've got this one-of-a-kind, revolutionary player, but where did he really make his mark? Where did he make his biggest impact? Well, he lands at Real Madrid, and he basically transforms them from just a top Spanish club into the absolute masters of Europe. He built a dynasty that pretty much redefined football. 5. Just a simple number, right? But in football, this number represents the absolute peak of club competition. What could it possibly be? I'll tell you this. In the entire history of the sport, the number 5 is forever tied to the legend of Di Stéfano and Real Madrid. Yep, that's right. 5 consecutive European Cups. We're talking about the very beginning of the competition we now know as the Champions League. And from 1956 to 1960, Real Madrid simply owned it. They were untouchable. And Di Stéfano, he was their leader, the engine at the very heart of that unbelievable dominance. When you look at the timeline, it really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? This wasn't some lucky streak. This was a 5-year reign. They were the undisputed kings of Europe. And get this, to this day, no team has ever matched that consecutive run. It's become a stuff of legend, almost mythical. And here's the most crucial part. He wasn't just a passenger on this incredible team. Oh no, he was the guy for the big moments. I mean, think about it. Scoring in one European Cup final is the dream of a lifetime for any player. Di Stéfano scored in all 5 of them. All 5. That is the definition of a legend. And that record still stands.
But his story, his impact, it wasn't just about his club. Di Stefano's career was a global affair, packed with individual awards and a really unique international journey.
Seriously, how wild is this? You have to remember, this was an era with much looser rules about who you could play for. So Di Stéfano ends up with one of the strangest, most unique international careers ever. He starts with Argentina, his home country. Then he plays some unofficial games for Colombia during a player strike. And to top it all off, he becomes a citizen of Spain and a star for their national team. 3 countries. It's unbelievable. And it wasn't just about the team trophies. As amazing as those were, there's another number that really defines his personal dominance during this time. 2. This little number basically confirmed what everyone already knew. He was, without a shadow of a doubt, the greatest player on the planet.
That's right. He won the Ballon d'Or, the award for the best player in the world, 2 times.
in 1957 and 1959, smack dab in the middle of that historic European run with Madrid. So yeah, it was official. He was the best.
But look, his impact, his legacy, it goes so much deeper than just the trophies in the cabinet. To really get it, you have to see him as the architect, the guy who drew up the blueprints for what modern Real Madrid would become, a global, footballing powerhouse. And here's something you gotta remember. His stardom didn't just pop up out of nowhere in Spain. Nope. He was already a total phenomenon back in South America. He'd won titles with the legendary River Plate in Argentina, and then with Millonarios in Colombia. Coming to Europe, that was basically his second act.
And his connection with Real Madrid? It was for life. We're talking decades after he stopped playing, the club named him their honorary president. I mean, that's the ultimate sign of respect, right? The ultimate nod to the fact that he was the guy who built the club's entire identity.
And listen to this, because this distinction is so key. Football historians often don't just call him the best, they call him the most influential player in Real Madrid's history. And that's huge. He didn't just win games for them. He forged their very identity, their ambition to be the biggest club in the world, that relentless need to win. You could say that every superstar who's pulled on that famous white shirt since, they've all been playing in the house that Di Stéfano built.
So let's wrap this up with a big question. By setting the standard for what a superstar player could be and what a super club could achieve, Alfredo Di Stéfano didn't just change Real Madrid, he changed the entire sport. So it really makes you think. If it wasn't for the Blond Arrow paving the way, what would our whole greatest of all time debate even sound like today?